Good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the horse. So welcome back, all my pony pals. How are we doing? Let's find out as we shuffle these all about, and we'll pick you three and we'll find out how you guys have been. I will be doing predictions for the year of the snake in the next week or so. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. Of course, the year of the snake and 2025 are two different new years, and that's why I haven't done the predictions for that yet, but I know people are waiting in anticipation, so I will be doing that before the Chinese New Year, which is usually in February. I need to check the dates on that, but I will be doing the predictions fairly soon, so hit that subscribe button and you won't miss it. Right, let's get on with this week's reading, shall we, and stop about there. And we'll take that one from the bottom, that one from the middle, that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we've got a white and two blacks. Always a little bit discouraging, isn't it, when you see those negatives? And of course, when there's more than one, it's a little bit like, oh, well, you know, oh, that's just typical. But let's not get too upset about this. Black isn't always an attack. White isn't always all right, okay? First off, we're going to start off with a catalyst. There is a change in the weather, a change in the wind. It's going to blow you in a different direction. And it's going to do this very, very quickly. And it's going to come in quite fast. And you'll be able to keep up with it. You'll be able to adapt with it. You'll be able to actually, you know, maybe even appreciate it. But it's not going to be easy. In fact, what it is going to do is it's going to start a domino effect of that negative side of things. But I think this is maybe more perspective, or your reluctance. This could have something to do with your reluctance to actually participate or get involved, or actually, you know, accept that that's just the way it is, and that could hold you back. Sometimes when we have these catalytic moments and things change and you go from one thing over to another, it can be a little bit like you weren't finished with it yet, or you weren't ready for it to end. But, you know, it has to end. It's like watching a film, a good film, and you really enjoyed the film. The film has to end, you know, or reading a book. It has to end sometime. And when you get to the end of it, you want it to continue. But it's not going to. You've got to the end. You can read a different book, and maybe that book just isn't as good. Or maybe you think it won't be as good, and that's where this sort of comes in from that catalytic moment. And that change is going to have you, as I say, maybe be a bit fiery, maybe a little bit, I don't know, quick to temper, frustrated, agitated, disappointed. It's going to have a lot of energy. Even though it's a white rabbit, it's going to have a lot of mixed emotions for you in that respect. But because it is a white rabbit, we can say or safely suggest that it's not going to be a bad thing. It's not going to be a negative thing that's happened. It's more your reaction to it. It's the way you're coping with it. It's the way that you are dealing with it. Again, a matter of perspective. So you've got that ox there, and that's probably what it is. The change has meant that you've had to slow down. And you don't want to go slow. Horses don't like going slow. So horses can be the most impatient people ever. And you know that's true. And that's probably why you're getting a little bit agitated, frustrated, a little bit annoyed. And that's probably why you got annoyed during the catalytic change, because you knew that it was going to slow down and everything was going to kind of stop. Almost like a workplace downsizing. You knew this was coming. And now you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, now what are you doing? You're just twiddling your thumbs. What's there to get done? Nothing. It's all been done now. What purpose do you have? Which direction are you supposed to go in now? What do you want to do? You know, this is a thinking card as well. So these are the things that you're supposed to be thinking about. So you're not wrong for thinking these things. You're not, you know, you shouldn't be annoyed at yourself for having these thoughts. I mean, the horse and the ox have a moderate compatibility, so this isn't a bad thing. And this isn't permanent either. Things are moving through. It's slowly pushing through, but I feel like because you've been forced now to stand still, and then they've said, take a step forward, stand still. take a step forward, stand still. You don't understand why you're stopping and standing still. What's with all the stopping? That's the one thing that you just don't understand. Why can't you just get it done? There'll be a bigger plan here, though, my lovely pony pals. There will be a bigger plan here. You just got to think of the long term, of like what comes next. Listen to your intuition and instinct as well, because that will help you find that direction. I think communication barriers is going to be an issue as well, because I think a lot of people, if not the majority of people, when they are going through moments of pain or confusion or sort of upset or even times of excitement, it's communication that kind of suffers. It's always the communication in 9 out of 10 cases that suffers, because people are, even if they don't admit it, selfish creatures. And when they get like really, really excited, or they get really, really sort of sad, or they get really, really, really angry, it's easy for them to become self-centered. And it's easy for them to not think of others or consider others. And because they're not thinking of others, they lose that, not the ability to communicate, but it's not priority to communicate with others properly. And that's why we're going to hit these barriers, we're going to hit these obstacles, because communication will suffer. And again, is that on you or is that on other people? Because you could, as a communicator from the talker triangle, because that's what the horse is, you could be the one that instigates the conversation, the mediation, the negotiation, because you are capable of doing that. But because of the way you see things, because of your perspective, you're probably thinking, well, why bother? It is what it is. Nothing will change. But with an attitude like that, horsey peoples, it never will. And you don't have much to fear anyway, because here we go, dragon card coming in. Dragon and horses, good compatibility, a very good compatibility. That's power and speed. Of course, we're not going anywhere, because that ox has slowed us right down and it's put us in this place of frustration. And that frustration is now leading to animosity. It's now leading to a just burn the village down and fly off to the next one and try again. Because obviously these people in this village, they aren't getting it. But that's the thing, horsey people. They don't get it because they haven't got to where you've got to yet. But we're already at this point now, so I'm not going to try and put the bolted horse or the stampeded horse back in the stable. If you want to rampage around the paddock and you want to tear up the grass, then you crack on, because that's where you're at right now. I think your frustration is turned to a point where there's no return for this, and now you just need a good vent, a good rant, a good get it off your chest session. And I think that'll put things right. And I think what you need to do, or what you are going to end up doing, is focusing on something that you have more control on. You're going to start getting back into a more, I want to say, a more of a hobby type thing. This isn't work related, I don't think. So I think you're going to start doing what you used to do. Maybe you used to, I don't know, play golf, and you haven't played golf for 6-7 months. So you're going to go back down to the golf course and play a round of golf. And you might find that actually helps, because what you've got right now, or, you know, not golf, obviously, if you're not a golfer, but doing something that's more of a hobby, an enjoyment thing. Because what's happening here is you're building up all this pent agitation and pent up frustration. And there's also, I feel, this struggle for dominance as well, where something could have taken over during that change, which has changed too much. And now you're struggling to keep the position that you once had. I think you're going to start lashing out, but try not to take this out on people that don't deserve it. The direction is going to change. Just listen to your intuition and get ready to act when it does. And that's what that dragon's preparing you for. Get ready for the change, because it is going to come through and there's nothing you can do about it. Be prepared for it and listen to your intuition and instinct, and it will help you with the direction that you need to be in. And we'll find out how you get on with that, won't we, next week when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the horse. I'll be doing a reading for those born in the year of the sheep next. So if you are interested, I will see you over there. If not, not to worry. I'll just see you in a video next week when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the horse. If you, however, would like a more in-depth reading, a bit more of a personal one, covering more things and a little bit, using a little bit more of the Chinese Zodiac, then you can find in the description a link for the Patreon. And on that Patreon, there's lots of different readings that you can choose that are monthly readings. And yeah, if you're interested, you can grab one. You can pick one of those. If not, no worries. I'll just see you next week. Love and peace.